up, friends? We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
Hey now, it's Dehjai.
And if you've never been here before, welcome me, welcome you. We talk pop culture and reality TV and real life in the intersection between all of those things. And we are back with part 2 of our conversation on young, famous, and African.
Wait. Is it rich? I don't know. Whatever, y'all.
I think it's famous.
It has a lot. It's just like that, like the other show on Netflix with the lady across the street in the window. Something. It's super long. Okay, these names, Netflix. Y'all got to give us. It just
didn't really go together. Like young, famous, and African. I felt like I wanted to keep saying rich, but I wish they had said like young, rich, and African. That would have rolled off the tongue. But young, famous, and African. If you have not watched part 1 already, we talked through the relationships with the women on this show. So now we're going to talk through the relationships with the men on this show, specifically bro code and all of the other mess that was happening.
First things first, I would like to point out that I thought Brother Andile was fine as hell. He was so cute to me.
You know what? I didn't think he was fine, but he was like one of those people. He's one of those guys that just has an energy. Like he has a way. So he's not like the finest guy in the room, but he draws you in.
Shit, this computer finna die, honey.
Hold on. So I was just like, I think I even tweeted that when I was watching it. Like he has energy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably why he got them 20 damn children.
Yeah, he got a bunch of kids. So while we're right here, let's quickly talk through bro code. Why was Andile trying to be in Zari's face when Zari is like Diamond's baby mom?
And Diamond is clearly still in love with her. I could see it if he was just like, we're just co-parenting, we're good friends, whatever. No. Diamond is very much still in love with Zari.
And they still have a very like kind of great relationship because he was at the house like it was his house.
Mm-hmm. Up. I don't even think was he ringing door. Well, maybe he did when I don't know. I feel like he'd just be popping up, like he just be walking.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I think he just pops up. Kind of like I think she knew probably that he was going to come because he was scheduled to be at the wedding. Yeah. At Annie and Innocent's wedding, and he was supposed to come by, but she didn't know when. So he just seems like if he's around, he's going to go by and see about his children's mother and his kids.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, understandably, you should. You have children.
Yeah, but it didn't give me like there was any distance in that relationship. It gave me very much like they might still be, canoodling.
Hello.
When the kids go to sleep at night,
Hello. A whole lot of belly smacking.
Yeah. So.
So for the bro code of it all, if you've not watched the show at this point, spoilers, okay? The fact that Diamond had whole like open-hearted conversations with the fellas, which is Naked, Swanky, and Andile about, where he stands as it relates to Zari, I just thought it was strange that Andile was like, all right, well, yeah, I'm gonna go after this. Because it's clear that like first Andile was caping for Diamond to basically admit to his BS, essentially. Mm-hmm. Like talk about the fact that let's call the truth. You were doing some foul shit, and that's how it ended up here. And so this whole thing of like him trying to be like, you got to take you got to acknowledge like the responsibility that you had and why you're not with her and so on and so forth when they were on the golf course. But then to turn around a couple of episodes later and you see Zari and you're like all over Zari, like bees to honey, like what?
Talking about some energy. Oh, when I see you, the energy is, girl, sit down.
Like the energy was in your pants. That's what it seemed like.
The energy was in your pants. And then the cliffhanger at the end where they're all three like sitting on the couch. Andile has now showed up at Zari's house. Diamond is there, looking like he lived there.
Hello.
It's just like, well, I've been.
And Andile was like, I mean, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Like, I'm here actually for Zari, not for you, Diamond. I was just like, this is really awkward and messy.
I'm and like, messy. Fellas, if y'all watch us, what would you do if your man's was at your baby mama house, just popped up to see her?
Yeah.
And like, you thinking that he there to see you? Because Diamond was like, well, how did you know I was here?
Didn't. Was hoping you wasn't.
Problematic as
hoping you wasn't. So
it was just a whole lot of going on. Even with I think we're introduced to Andile through Naked. And Naked and Andile are sitting on like the patio of Naked's home, and they're having a conversation about how basically the one thing that I can't appreciate about this show is that the men kind of call each other out on their bullshit.
They do.
But like Naked was just kind of like, what's the deal? Like, if y'all here, she's here all the time. Like, why don't you just live here? Like, move in together. Like, what's the problem? And like Naked was like, no, she need to go home sometime.
Which I was like, you know what? I understand. Like,
he was like, he told both the Andile and Swanky that like he just wants to have some days to himself.
He did, but my question is, did he tell Kylie that he wanted some days? No, yes.
I don't know.
Did he tell her like, hey, I need a few days to myself, like to reset or spend time with my kid or whatever? And then he just sort of like disappeared on her for over a week. I think she said it was like 8 days, and they just didn't speak. I'm like, if you don't speak to me in 8 days, I'm single again. I'm sorry. We're not going to counseling. We're not doing any of that stuff. I'm just single again.
My thing is like, girl, are you married to him? Like, why are you so tied to this situation?
Yeah, and she seems like she has some like stardom in her own right, because she's like a soccer player, I think.
Like a world-renowned, like,
yeah.
Like, why are you here? It just gives me like, you know what? I'm not gonna even say that, because I feel like it's a cultural thing. Because a lot of them talked about like the experiences, the women I'm speaking of, talked about the experiences that they've had with the men on this show or men outside of this particular show. And it's just the culture of the women. Like the men are out here doing X, Y, and Z. Like prime example, Andile has like 2 small children. So it almost seems like he was with both women at the same time.
Probably was.
I'm like, the window is open, so I can hear the noise. Like,
hood twins. You got a set of hood twins.
Hello.
I don't know if that's true, y'all. Don't.
No, I think it might be. I think you might be on something, sis. But like Andile is fine, okay, and he
just has energy. I don't think he's fine. He just has energy.
His energy. I think he's just a very well put together for me. Not just physical attributes, but like he's very cute to me, but then just well put together and well spoken. Like this is an offline conversation. I'll tell you that in a minute. But anyway,
yeah,
it's just, I don't know.
Totally agree. What else? We talked about that. Swanky's my favorite, even though that conversation with him on the train, I was just like, now Swanky, now what would you do? What did you do that for?
Drink.
I was like, now what was that for? But other than that, like he was my favorite. Like his confessional looks were top notch, like A1. Every time I saw one, I was like, that was the one. And then he came on again, and I was like, no, that's the one. Like
that's one thing I say about them. They was dressing.
Yeah, they was dressing. His confessional looks were top tier.
Yes. But like honestly, Swanky gives me Dustin from Friend Zone. He gives me Dustin energy, because he was always very chill, laid back, always in the mix, but not of the mix. Like I'm just here. He just reminds me of Dustin, like how Dustin seems to present on social media.
Yeah.
It was a whole lot of dysfunction in this group between the women and the men, like a whole lot of dysfunction. And it's just kind of like, this must be the culture. And if it's not, then we need the people to let us know. Because like,
well, I won't go that far, because I would truly hate for anyone watching abroad to think that Housewives of Atlanta or Potomac is our culture. So
Agreed, but they do. That's the irony.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that that's reflective of most Black culture, really.
Totally agree.
But so I'm not gonna put that on them. But I enjoyed it. I just, like I said before in our previous conversation, I thought it was a little bit disjointed, but they left a good cliffhanger. So hopefully it comes back for season 2.
Yeah, we're gonna find out what Andile is gonna say. Well, hopefully we do, to answer why he was there. Because I don't even think he got.
I feel like he kind of mentioned it, kind of was like, I'm here for Zari. And I think we're gonna find out what Diamond has to say about that more so than Andile.
Okay, so maybe got it backwards. Got you.
Yeah.
Y'all, did you watch the show? Let us know what you thought. Drop down in the comments, of course, and join in the conversation. Of course, make sure you're following us on all of our social media, and we will see y'all next time.
Latest.